Look at that.
What do you think? Look who's inside my garage. He's back for more. He got bit pretty hard by the mod bug, and now we're here to install some additional goodies. First, we're gonna start off with this box. Let's open it up.
Look at that. Meister R.
Alright, so let's get these installed. First, what we're gonna do is put the car up on the quick jacks and evaluate everything that's underneath. Before I do anything to a car, I just wanna look underneath, see what we have to deal with, see what we have to potentially unbolt or undo, and just overall get a whole understanding of how the bottom of this car works. This car is definitely different from mine, but it should be pretty straightforward, but I'm curious to see what the differences are.
Like that, huh?
Yeah. Okay, so one thing we're doing first is just breaking all the lug nuts while the car's on the ground, so it's much easier.
The wheel lock there, you got it? Let's start it moving. Mazda OEM for sale. Skip.
Okay, so quick inspection of the NDA Miata. I could already tell that there's some stuff that looks better than the MR2. So he has all these arms, which is nice because when he goes after, oh my god, your axle's beefy. Isn't that beefy axle? Anyway, all these arms, once he goes fully adjustable, it's just so much easier on the car. So this arm right here, this is your sway bar, this sway bar end link, and this, from what it looks like where it's attached to your hub, this is your toe arm, toe adjustment.
Okay.
So toe is wheel
Like
pointing
that?
in or out.
Okay.
That's toe. Over here looks like your camber. Because I see, oh no, sorry, down here, this lower arm is your camber arm. So to install this coilover, looks like we just have to do 2 bolts up here and 1 bolt down here, and this whole thing just comes off. We don't have to worry about undoing the wheel hub or the knuckles or anything. So much easier. Then of course, we'll just have to adjust toe a little bit if needed after a test drive. Let's go check out the front. Right, now for the front. It looks like he has double wishbone. It looks so much simpler to understand everything. And to install the suspension, it looks like we just have the 3 bolts up here, the 1 bolt down here, and just drop this and install the new one. Alright, so it looks like it's pretty straightforward install. Let's get started in taking these off. So we finally got the original shocks out. We're kind of bumping our heads on how to remove it because of the double wishbone getting in the way. The original shocks are 3 bolts, 1, 2, and 3. Then down here, so there's 1 bolt at the bottom that attaches to here. Then you undo sway bar end link. Just push it out. This is a sway bar end link right here. You undo that so it has full range of movement. But the issue we were having was, while this wishbone was attached to the mounting points, we were getting blocked from actually pushing this low enough to get the whole assembly down. So what we found was unbolting the wishbone from the 2 locations gives it enough room to just push down to wiggle out the OEM shocks from the whole body. And once we figured this out, we did on the other side, it was much faster. So here are the fronts in comparison to the Meister R's. What I usually do to measure ride height for new coilovers is I take the original shock body and measure from where it sits flat on the strut tower all the way down to the center hole over here. And I measured that whole distance just so I could get a reference point. Then I would measure the same distance from here to here and lower it accordingly. So for example, this reads about 21¼ to center hole. So if we were to lower this by 2 inches for the front, we would do 19¼ and that should give us our 2 inches of drop. Okay, so let's get to adjusting the height. So we're just gonna put some of these on the side for now. And the coilovers come with two spanners, one wider angle and one smaller angle. And the smaller angle is for the lower lock rings, like so. And this one is for the top one. So to loosen this, you take the spanner wrench and just make sure it's all the teeth nice and flush, and you unlock it the opposite. So now this is loose. So to raise and lower the coilover, you just literally twist.
That's it.
But before I do any of that, I'll set this as a reference point. What I personally like to do, I like to put anti-seize in the threads because one, it helps preventing it from locking up. Right, one coilover installed so far. Look how pretty that looks with the red and the black on a jet black Mica car. Next up, we're gonna paint these bolts to mark them just so we could see if they backed out in the future or not. It's always good to mark your fasteners. And we're gonna mark it with red. So this fastener we removed, so we're just gonna mark it right there. And if you ever see these marks not lining up, you know it moved. Same thing with this. Mark it right there. Same thing down here. And same thing over here. And up here. Red mark. Okay, now all our fasteners are marked. Everything's tight down here. We could work on the other side and do the same thing. All right, fronts are done. Time for the rears. So the rears were much easier to do, actually. There's less things in the way. There's just one bolt down here that you just have to undo. And just got to take out the liners in the rear to get access to the top bolts. And just two bolts right there to undo. Then once you do all that, just push the shock out of the way from this lower mounting point. Drop it down like halfway and pull it out over the brake rotor. And that's it for the rear. Easy. Luca decided to visit and supervise us, because in case we mess up. And now we are done. It's all installed. Moment of truth. We're about to drop the car from the lift and see how it looks. How you feeling?
I'm nervous.
That looks really good. Alright. Car looks ready for the track. But
What?
you know what this thing needs? Some wheels. Whee! Damn. What do you think? Look at that. Some Koenig decograms, 16 by 8s, and bronze on the jet black mica or mica. Later on, we'll lower it just a little bit more. Gee! On top of wheels and tires, Raul got a whole lip kit for the car. It looks dope. Rear lip diffuser too. What do you think? It's good? By the way, for anyone curious, this is the carbon Miata lip kit. It's pretty straightforward. They give you all the hardware you need. It's polyurethane, and they give you a bunch of screws to just screw it into the bumper, and some of it aligns up to original OEM like plastic clips or screw holes, so it's pretty straightforward. I do it after one track day. Suspension, exhaust, wheels, tires, lip kit, addiction. But it's a life we choose to live.